We're doing a bit of a mashup. This is why this looks very disorganized, but it really isn't. So we're gonna start with a little bit of a review of what we've been doing in terms of public goods funding as ENS. You heard Sky mention it earlier. We're gonna go a little bit deeper into what that actually means and why we're doing it. And then we're gonna have a panel with some of the grantees that actually, you know, are manifesting what public goods funding actually means in real life. So there it is. We're going to do this little review, and then we're going to move on to the panel. So we're doing like a little bit of a mashup. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I think my mic is on. Okay. So I'm Coltron.eth. I'm a public goods steward with ENS DAO. I'm here with Simona Pop. Maybe you guys know her. She's quite the force in the space. We're going to, like she said, go over a review of the ENS Public Goods Funding and Review, and then kind of move into kind of a panel with some of our grantees to kind of explain what that impact has had. I'm not sure if everyone is familiar, but ENS started as a grant from the Ethereum Foundation. So Nick Johnson had initially received, you know, a $1 million grant from the Ethereum Foundation. That has led into becoming ENS that we all know today. If you can go to the next slide, I think that'll... Or is there a clicker? Oh yeah, awesome. There's always a clicker. So ENS started with a grant. Like I said, it was a $1 million grant from the Ethereum Foundation to Nick Johnson, and is what we know as ENS today. I think we all know ENS. It resolves, you know, a human readable name to our Ethereum address, which they're hard to remember. It's difficult. I think we all see the value there. It's something that Vitalik mentions in almost every one of his talks. With ENS, you know, kind of funneling down where that has come to today, ENS DAO, you know, came to life in November 2021. We started DAO, you know, there's a token. But with that, we have a mandate for how we use the protocol treasury. The DAO manages the treasury itself, and Article 3 of the Constitution has a mandate to fund public goods. This is really focused on everything outside of ENS. So it's kind of, there's some misunderstanding sometimes about, you know, ENS has public goods and they do grants. So you must be focused on giving grants to ENS projects. Actually, for ENS public goods, we want to fund everything else in the broader Web3 and Ethereum ecosystems. So what does that look like?
Sorry, I was about to tweet, but okay. What does that look like? And I think we can move to the next slide.
I got you.
You got me. Okay. So one of the main things that tends to happen, which really annoys me personally, is that we chat a lot about public goods. Public goods this, public goods that, what is it, what isn't it, how does it work, doesn't it work? It usually doesn't really work, that funding mechanism, which again, we've been exploring and really looking at, and it has been improving exponentially. And I think it's very, very important to look at how we practically manifest the things that we're talking about. And with ENS, and certainly the public goods group and the stewards currently in charge of that, we're in the term that we are serving in right now, it's myself, Coltron, and then Eduardo, who's going to be leading this panel. It's how do we actually manifest this Article 3 of genuinely funding public goods at large. So not something that is exclusively tied with ENS, but something that allows us to pass that funding forward and genuinely, again, bring this into reality versus just tweeting about it. And obviously, it's a little bit harder, but we try. So how we try, and what we've done to try, is we have given over $500,000 to public goods, and in the past 2 years. So the real focus has been, how can we expand the different avenues in which we do this, right? We, again, the Griffin Sky covered a lot of it. Juan mentioned some of the mechanisms, but how do we multiply those? How do we look at different formats of what that looks like versus just sticking to what we already have that, as we said, is by no means perfect and by no means necessarily as effective as it could be. But this is what we've managed to do. And it is my hope that we continue and increase that by a lot. Because moving money and resource around to make sure that meaningful things happen is the way we're going to move the needle, and we're going to push things forward. This is some of the means and the avenues that we've been manifesting that in, right? So we do scholarships, we've got discretionary grants, we did work with Bitcoin rounds, we're hackathons and events where we put up public goods bounties for, again, general public goods. It isn't necessarily a bounty, a sponsor bounty that just is for building specifically on ENS. And I think that's an important piece. And I think that's an important piece to see more of, and hopefully by exploring these, we again move these models into something that can be replicated by a lot of different protocols, by a lot of different ecosystems, by a lot of different projects. So again, highlighting the two most important means that we have used to deliver this funding is small grants. Small grants I am particularly fond of because, again, it does not follow the usual kind of model that we have seen before that, again, has manifested in the past, like, let's say, 3-4 years, but it really, really focuses on this very, very simple way of accessing, of being able to apply, being able to get voted on by the community in terms of who gets funding. So this is like a very beautiful piece in the whole format, and then deliver it to, again, make sure that smaller projects can move along in their journey. And then what we do after small grants, we have large grants. Who saw that coming? This is how much we have delivered, and we deliver it every 6 months. Now, what happens here is that small grants grantees usually move on to larger grants. Why? Because they're at the stage where the funding that they received in the small grants is now creating impact, is now creating value. They have things to show that really stands, testament to the work that they've been doing, utilizing the funds that they have received. So this is incredibly, incredibly important, and that progression is very important because technically you could go from a hackathon where you fulfilled a bounty and maybe you won a bounty for public goods, you then move to small grants, you then move to large grants. See what happens, and then you start on your path. You have this very nice journey, whereas even a few years ago, it would be like, oh, I had a hackathon, I did a hackathon, now what? Now this, and hopefully soon more. Yeah.
So before I'm going to pass, Simone and I are going to pass this off to Eduardo, and he's going to do a panel with three teams who have been involved in our grants program. What I really hope, the audience can take away from this is that, we're really here to fund things outside of, the ENS ecosystem and for that broader ecosystem. So if you're builders, if you're building, like, please, reach out to Simona, myself, Eduardo, one of the stewards. We're really here to fund the community, to fund you. We're super happy to be here in Istanbul. So please also ask questions to any of the panelists. I think there's going to be some lessons learned, and hopefully we can help you submit grants and be successful.
Cool. Eduardo?
Thank you, guys. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
My name is Eduardo. I'm one of the stewards with my 2 colleagues of the ENS DAO. So I would like to start first. We all know each other, but if you would like to introduce for the crowd, what is your project, what's your name, so they can get familiar with you.
Yeah, hello, I'm Angela from Token Engineering Academy. We received a large grant from ENS DAO. Thank you again. Our mission is we are providing education in token engineering. Token engineering is the design, verification, optimization of token systems, and to put it simple, we are designing incentive mechanisms. So we've heard this positive sum games, coordination. You can coordinate thousands, millions of people via smart contracts and provide incentive mechanisms to make them do stuff. Now, designing these mechanisms is an art in itself because the effects are usually they are non-linear, so it's not easy to just put up a formula and then you can predict the results. Instead, you have to observe these systems and secure for vulnerabilities. You want to make them secure against attack vectors, to make them fair for everyone, transparent for everyone, and this is the mission of token engineers. Now, basically, this is a new discipline. We provide education. We have launched the first public goods, free, online accessible learning program in this space. It's available at tokenengineering.net, and ENS DAO helped us to produce this program and spin up community activities, to put it short. Yeah.
Thank you, Angie. Nice to have you here. How about you, Roscoe?
So I'm Roscoe. I'm the creator. Is this working?
I don't think the mic is working.
No.
I can talk, but...
Maybe we can go to Alim in the meantime.
Oh, yeah, I can start. Hello, everyone. My name is Alim from both ITU, blockchain, and Clave. Actually, we are working on the account abstraction wallet to try combine devices, secure elements, and account abstraction, and which means that we are using some curves from the Web3 world, not directly in the Web3. One of that is R1 curve. Normally, we are using to verify the signatures with K1 curve in Ethereum, but we just try to use R1 curve to do that because most of the world and technological devices use R1 curve except blockchain space, and we thought that, okay, if we can add the R1 curve to directly Ethereum, it can connect most of the case to blockchain space. So it's not easy to do because you have to publish an EIP, and EIP means community have to review that and then give feedbacks, and after that you need a hard fork to change something. So in this process, ENS DAO starting to support us and still helping to this stage.
Thank you. Roscoe, maybe it works now?
Let's hope so. It sounds like it. Hey guys, I'm Roscoe. I'm the creator of Revoke.cash, which is an end-user product focused on mostly crypto security applications. So we offer a token approvals dashboard. You know, whenever you're using most DeFi applications like Uniswap or like OpenSea, you have to give these applications access to your tokens. Like if you want to sell your NFT on OpenSea, you have to give them access to your NFTs. But having these token approvals can always be a security risk. You know, if you have all these people that have access to your tokens, you can imagine if someone gets compromised or some contract has a bug somewhere, that could be a security risk. So we offer a dashboard that allows you to, you know, see and manage, revoke all of your token approvals. And besides that, we're also sort of expanding to a few other products. Like we also have a browser extension now that offers warnings when you might be doing some harmful actions, like giving these token approvals or listing NFTs for sale on websites that aren't marketplaces, for example. Yeah, so overall, we're just trying to offer as much functionality to help people stay safe in crypto.
Nice. So we will start with a very simple question, which is how or why did you got into the grants program? Like, what were, of course, everyone's looking for financial support, but was there something else? How was your experience in your personal point of view from each of us? We'll start with you, Roscoe.
Yeah, so initially I created Revoke.cash in 2019 as more of a side project. While I worked for different companies in the space and also started some other of my own startups. And then at some point, as crypto grew, Revoke.cash also, usage also grew with it. So I kind of noticed that, that the tool should really have its own sort of attention. So I went full-time on Revoke.cash, but that also means that I need to be able to support the development, the maintenance, infrastructure costs. And that kind of made me turn towards looking at grants, because Revoke.cash is 100% open source and free to use, so there's no real revenue model for the company there. And initially that was through Gitcoin grants that I looked at, and then I think late last year ENS launched its small grants program, so I applied to that, received several small grants, and then also one of the growth grants later this year. And basically those grants programs have been able to support the continued development of Revoke.cash, and without those grants programs, it really wouldn't have been possible. So that's really nice.
How about you, Angela?
Yeah, I mean, education. We'd like to be open to anyone on this globe to study token engineering, because to build the economic systems of the future based on tokens, we need perspectives from all across the globe. And we have today peer-to-peer learning groups from 21 time zones in 14 languages. And this really matters to us. So we don't have any fees for learning. The program is free, and then you can mint an NFT as proof of knowledge. And we also help our students get in touch with projects, make their next steps. Now, of course, we need partners who are allies to fund education as public good, and also the development of this new discipline, because token engineering, you can't study this nowhere. It's a native crypto new engineering discipline. And I think for us, it's super important to have partners like ENS DAO, because number one, education should be free. But number two, we want to be really very close to crypto protocols, layer 1, layer 2, to the communities there, because we want to address and be close to the challenges we have. And that's why we are super happy to collaborate with you guys to infect the communities, provide education, learn from the challenges, and just be at the where things happen. And we enjoy that, and I think it adds a lot of value to both ecosystems, to our students and to ENS.
Yeah, I completely agree on this, and I think it's also very nice when you see the process of someone entering the community, the ENS DAO community, joining the calls, some people applying to the small grants, slowly getting familiar and with the process, and how you end up sort of growing up with the community, and then we are here, Yeah. It has been quite a journey with you guys. For you, Alim,
Yeah.
what would be your ideal scenario for a grant? Like what's something that you think from the pre-compiler perspective, something that you are looking for?
Actually, on the pre-compile side, you not mostly need a financial support. Sometimes you need the more community support on that, because we published an EIP to change actually EVM. So it can be really dangerous for the EVM side. You need to really search on that. And also you have to search on this topic. We really need to this change. So first of all, okay, we have a case to use that, but also is there any cases to use this precompile on EVM? So when we started to search on that, we saw some discussion on the ENS forum. So, okay, we tried to reach out to the ENS DAO, and they said, okay, it's a really great idea. Maybe it can be really useful for the community. We can discuss on that. How can we share to more people or to discuss this EIP? So after that, now we are one of the grantees. It's not like a financial support. Also, we are now discuss this EIP on ENS forum, also in other forums, and ENS team always helped us on this issue because sometimes you can lose your motivation to work on that because it takes more than a year to change some things, and most of the case it doesn't work to change something on EVM because it's really critical some things. But in this process, a lot of people from ENS DAO text us, okay, how is going to do this process? How can we support you? And some other supports like that. And now it's going really well. A lot of people shared a lot of documentation on this site. Also, there are least people on work on this site. And if you learn something about this issue, you have to publish that. So it's a really big responsibility to do. But also you don't have to do that because there is no thing to, you don't have to do that, but now with ENS DAO, we are sharing almost everything with all people, and now there are a lot of contributors on the EIP side, so the process was like that, yeah.
Thank you. So let's do a small round, or fast round of, I want to know about a win and a loss from each of you, from your grants process, your journey, or maybe not necessarily grants. Maybe we can talk about funding, something that for you was a win and a loss, something that worked, something that didn't work for you guys. Who want to start? Maybe Angela?
Yeah, I can start. So a win and a loss. Win, definitely. I think more and more DAOs and foundations are embarking on a more long-term perspective on funding public goods. And this is really important because to fully leverage the potential of public goods, and this potential is huge because you can multiply the effects of your investment, of a large grant, for example, because here at TE Academy you're reaching 3,000 students that benefit from this grant, and our 20K social community. And then also we shared this grant with TE Commons. So this is really scaling the effects, but this is more than, you know, a 2-month engagement.
Right.
And TE Academy exists since 2020. Today, I think we have established our position in collaborating with a lot of projects, protocols in the Ethereum community, with investors, with token engineering experts. But it took us a while to get to this stage. And this more long-term perspective, also reliability, you know, we deliver, we take the next step together is really important. A loss is probably the communication and information needed to achieve this, because we have to communicate what we do, what we plan, what we have been able to achieve, and we not only communicate this to the ENS DAO team, we have to communicate it to the overall all DAO members, the delegates, and this is, I think, this could be more efficient, and I guess almost any DAO is working on this at the moment, a lot of challenges to solve. Maybe token engineering can contribute here, also with voting mechanisms, make it less time-consuming to collect information about projects to fund. I guess this is something here we are on a learning journey together.
All right, thank you, Angela. How about you, Roscoe?
Yes, I think one big win about building public goods in the crypto space is that the crypto space is in a pretty unique position where there's this sort of culture that people want to fund public goods and they want to give grants and they want to sort of give back to the community. And I think just being in that position is very unique and definitely is a win, because if you compare that to a lot of other industries, I feel like there's, you know, it's a lot harder to get these kind of grants, to get sort of funding if you're building something that's not necessarily for profit. So yeah, I think just overall the crypto community is a huge win. I guess then sort of a loss from my personal perspective is, especially earlier on in the journey trying to get grants, is that I was personally like sort of disqualifying myself for certain grants. Where, you know, a lot of grants have certain requirements or eligibility things. So just reading that and thinking, okay, well, but that's not me, and then just not applying in the first place. I think I've been guilty of that too many times, and then it turns out that you know, in the end, those organizations would have happily given grants or funded if I had just applied. So I think that's also, you know, a good lesson, and maybe something to take home for the public as well. You know, that just don't disqualify yourself just because you think you don't apply, and you know, just go for it.
Makes sense. How about your journey for getting the precompile, getting there? What has been sort of a win and a miss or a loss for you?
Actually, after we decided, okay, it can be EIP, and we can publish that. There are some steps to go hard for it, actually. First, someone need to prepare a draft about EIP, and then you need a lot of reviews from the community. So it's not about you. It should come from the community. So you can only share this draft to people, but they have to first review it and then share their feedbacks. So in this side, you really need to help to share and get feedbacks from the people. So there are a lot of great people on Ethereum community and ENS DAO community. After the share or EIP draft with these people, they started to review that. Nice. Because it's we just published one of the codes of the clients, but there are more than 7 clients to change it. So some people help us to prepare this precompile for other clients too, and then a lot of people reviewed that and said, okay, maybe we can change this precompile functions like that. Maybe we need just verify it. We don't need this function or something like that. Also, a lot of discussions still going on. And now, a lot of people, after a lot of feedbacks, we are working on the roll-up improvement proposals. It's really new for the community, because now the time to roll-up time, actually, we are on the roll-up area, and community decided to, okay, we can try this precompiles first on the roll-ups. And it's going really well. We still need a lot of support and reviews and feedbacks. So if you have, thanks to help us on this site.
Thank you, Ali. So thank you guys for joining this panel. I would just like to invite everyone here, if you are building on top of a public good, if you are building something that you think will benefit your community, your area, your city, your state, feel free to come to a public goods working group. We meet every Tuesday, 6 p.m. CET. I think it's 8 p.m. here, probably. So feel free to join. The calls are open. Our DMs are open. The ENS DAO welcome you all to be part of the public goods. And if you have any questions, we are right here for you. We have just a reminder, we have 2 grants program. One for small grants, for smaller projects. We have another one for large grants, for larger projects, up to 50K. And we are about to launch in a few weeks a Builders with Giveth, which is a focus for individuals or very small teams who aspire to build something. You can receive donations to the Giveth platform, and then the ENS DAO will match the funds. So thank you for that, and have a nice day.